Hey y'all, welcome back to R&R Sugarloaf Farms. It is the day we are weighing babies and giving them some coccidiosis prevention medicine. And so this is how we're going to weigh our babies. Over here we got this bucket hung up to this fish scale here. And we're going to so we got about 2 pounds off is what we got it. So we're going to try to stick this goat in the bucket. This is not the easiest part. I need a bigger bucket. Easy there. Come on there, Fred.
And they don't like going in the bucket.
So I'm at 17 pounds, so we're going to call this one 15 pounder. And that's how we do it. Alright, here we go. We got Darla. We're going to see if we can weigh her. That's pretty close work. Yeah, that's at 15 pounds. I'm at 13 pounder.
So, Robert, you're pretty good at guessing weights on cattle. So, on feeling the goats and weighing them, do you think our method's pretty accurate?
For the most part. So this right here, this thing weighs 14 pounds. So go over here. We're at 16 pounds. So, I know we're at, we're at 16 pounds or 14 pounds.
Well, there you go.
So the reason why we got to weigh these for the coccidiosis prevention is to get the proper amount of medicine to shove down their gullet whenever we go to weigh them or treat them. 12 pounds.
Okay.
Anything else I need to say? Bye.
So one of the reasons why we weigh the kids is because we want to make sure that they are growing, that they've got healthy weights on, and make sure that we have our dosages properly given to them. So we don't want to underdose them, we don't want to overdose them in any medication, and our coccidiosis prevention, we want to make sure that that's exact so that we are preventing it. With Shay's new kids, they are 6 days old. They both have weighed in. So here is the buckling. Okay.
All right, you guys' corn's knocked off.
Yep. He weighed in at 6 pounds, and then the doe. Come here.
Come on, Fred.
All right, so the doe here, she weighed in at 6 pounds as well. She's doing really good. They're both doing really good.
You gotta pick the camera way up to get in face.
It's fine. Now, so they're doing excellent. They're doing really good. Okay, here, give me her, and you grab Tiny. Okay, so this is Tiny. Oh yes, I know. I'm so sorry. Okay, so Tiny here weighed in at 8 pounds. She is, can you take her? Tiny is a month old. So she is literally 4 weeks old now. These guys are less than a week. She fit in the palm of my hand whenever she was born. So in comparison, she's grown a lot. She's a single. And Lily had to have a C-section, so she, it could have gone bad, it could have gone good, but Tiny here, we weigh her every week to make sure that she's gaining, but for her to have started out at half a pound a month ago and now weighing in at 8 pounds is excellent. So here's the size comparison between the two, and this is why we have nicknamed her Tiny. Hold them out, bud. So if you can see, she is a month old, less than a week. Okay, turn them to the side. Yeah. So now we'll show y'all what one that is her age should look like. Okay, so here is Tiny and here is Sugar. Okay, so Sugar is, she weighed in at 12 pounds, I think. She is actually a month older than Tiny, but she comes from small lines. So she is the closest size in comparison to Tiny right now. So if you hold them side by side, guys.
That's just Tiny Sugar right there.
Tiny Sugar. Yeah. But, okay, so if you don't weigh your kids, even if they're being dam raised or bottle raised, it's really important to weigh them because sometimes you can miss something. Like, they can act totally okay one minute, one day, and then, like, you know, a few days later, they may not be looking very thrifty, and that's because they've been losing a lot of weight for whatever reason. They could have a parasite bloom, they could have coccidiosis, they could have, you know, an illness or something, and so that's why we weigh our goats. Now, the majority of these guys will weigh every 3 weeks. But with the small ones and the bottle-fed ones, we want to make sure that they're getting enough and that they're gaining. So like with Tiny and our bottle-fed ones, we'll weigh them once a week. So that's how we do it. And so now we're going to start dosing out some meds. Okay, guys, so this is what we use to treat and prevent coccidiosis in our goats. We use toltrazurol. This is a 1 cc per 5 pounds. Shoe fly. Okay, so this bottle should last us all kidding season. We have a total of 24 kids on the ground, and this is going to be dosed out every 21 days, so about every 3 weeks. Depending on the size of the goat, then it'll depend on how much you'll need. So the last 3 weeks ago, we had all of our kids, we weighed them, we calculated their dose on what they needed. The ones that weren't 3 weeks old, we didn't dose. And so now we have got everybody else. We've weighed them. We've made sure that everyone has gained, which they have, and they've all been pretty proportionate to each other. They've been gaining about somewhere between 2 to 4 pounds each. So that's good. And so now we're going to sit here, calculate, and then we're going to dose out the kids. Another good thing is to where this is an excellent way of keeping records. So all of this, even though it's written down here, it will actually go into our record book that we keep for all of our goats. And this will go on their individual health papers. So if they ever leave our farm, then the new owners will be able to keep track on what we've given to the goats. So this shows from 3 weeks ago, and then it shows now. So, and then in 3 weeks we'll have another, and so on and so forth. Alright, so we have taken our toltrazurol, we've put it in a little container. We have drawn up the, we're doing brownie. So we've drawn up 2.4 cc's. We're going, she does really good because she's a bottle baby. It's just like that, and she's done. And now we're going to do beans. So we're going to look for beans. He's right here. He's out of cocoa. He gets, oh my goodness, he gets the same. The 2.4. Okay, Beans, thank you. Beans. Hi, bud. And he's done. Alright, so both of those are done for another 3 weeks. Both those kids have had their prevention. They won't have to have another one for another 3 weeks. That's why we like toltrazurol. It's a one and done. There's many different ones that you can use for coccidiosis treatment and prevention. We used to use like Corid and Sulfamed, but we found that Corid, we didn't have very good success with it. And so we switched to sulfamed. And the problem with sulfamed is it's really acidic. And just like Corid, it's acidic. They don't like the taste. But it's 5 days in a row treatment. So you have to weigh the kid, you have to treat them, and then for 5 days in a row, you have to give them another dose. The amounts are different. So with Corid, you have to dilute it. Sulfamed, it's prescription. You don't have to dilute it, but you give them a full dose, and then like you give them like a half dose of that for the next 4 days. So with our busy schedules, we just like the Toltrazurol. It is a little bit more expensive, but it does work. Since we've been using it, we haven't had any coccidiosis issues. And so I highly recommend it. You can get it. So this video is not sponsored by Pre-Race, by Horse Pre-Race, their website, but that is where we get it, is horseprerace.com. I'll try and leave the link in the description box. And we're going to treat the rest of these kids and get them out to their holding pen. And we will talk to y'all next time. Bye.